Exciting day today. We're here at a bike thing. I'm going to have some really special kit fitted to Storm today. We're planning on some auxiliary lights on the front and some additional brake lights on the back. But we're going to have a look inside the shop now and see what kit we're going to put on. The workshop here at a bike thing is amazing. It's an absolutely beautiful location and they're fully set up to do pretty much anything to any bike here. So I'm confident that Storm is in good hands today. But it's always nervous when you see all the panels starting coming off the bike. But it's quite a big installation today. We've got a lot of parts. We're going to integrate everything into the CAN bus system. All of the HEX parts are going to work in unison with the bike. So I'm really happy it's in their hands and I'm really looking forward to seeing the results we get today. So Tom's going to be looking after Storm today. So what's the plan for today?
So we've got the D7 Pros from Denali, which we're going to have. Do you want them as an indicator?
Yeah, I think
so. You can run them as an indicator, and then main beam, when you hit main beam, everything powers on. It was just like so bright you won't even.
Night and day.
Yeah, night and day. You've got your GS911, which will be able to fault find any issues on your bike, reset service indicators, all that stuff on the road when you're out. Also, they'll give you another cable just in case you come across a standard BMW rider with an older bike. You're able to connect to their bike and run a diagnostic for them as well. 2 EasyCans, because you're going to need the circuits for the amount of stuff I'm going to fit to your bike.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because they use 3 and there's only 4 circuits on 1 EasyCan.
Okay, and with the additional brake lights as well.
We're having three extra brake lights. The 2 on the side we're going to use as indicators, left and right, obviously. They're also going to be a running light and a brake light, and then you can have another brake light on the bottom. So you can have loads of brake lights.
It's going to be like the Blackpool illuminations when it's finished.
And we've also got some other bits which I haven't fitted yet. The easy switch from Hex. So these should be pretty cool. We'll be able to put a switch onto your handlebars. So you should be able to turn, we can turn the lights off, we could turn your heated clothing off, we could do all sorts of things.
Oh, well, you can make your heated clothing as well.
Do all sorts. So we've also got the keys cables that we can plug into the EasyCan. So when your heated grips come on, depending on what level you've got them on, we'll put your clothing on to a different level as well.
Well, that's clever.
So that's pretty cool.
I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah, so that's happening as well.
That's super.
Yeah.
I believe that switch is also backlit as well.
Yes.
That's kind of handy.
I say, I've not fitted one yet, so this is all new for me as well.
Should be fun.
Luckily, we've got Stefan here, just in case we get stuck.
We are here today with Hex Innovate and a bike thing, fitting these lights to the front and the rear of the bike. It's quite an exciting day for John and I because these are the final finishing touches to Storm that we're going to make really before we head off around the world, and they are so important. One of the things we noticed when we were doing like our running period and doing some tests on the bike is when it was in really dark conditions, we definitely wanted more light, especially with us heading through multiple deserts on the round the world trip. It was really important to us to add some additional rear and front lights, as well as they look so cool, especially on the Touratech guards that we've put on the front. So we're going to be here all day today. It's fantastic. There's coffee. It's a warm, lovely garage to kind of sit and relax in and just talk about the bike and kind of get excited for the round the world trip. It is a blue sky day here in England. So yeah, overall, it's going to be really, really exciting. But at the same time, I'm kind of nervous because I don't like seeing Storm like completely stripped down. There's always something kind of like nervous about it. But the guys here are so skilled that they're taking away all my anxiety. So let's head on back in and see what they're doing next to Storm. Didn't realise you had to take off so much.
The bike will be completely naked when I'm finished. Fuel tank's coming off. Every panel's coming off this bike.
It gives us a good opportunity to get familiar.
Have you seen an Airfix kit?
Yep.
It will look like an Airfix kit.
We're going to lay it out on the floor like that.
It will be like that on the floor.
That's cool. So we're in really good hands today. We've got Stefan here as the founder of Hex. And tell us a little bit more about the company.
Thank you. It's been such a long time, I've got to think myself. We founded Hex in Cape Town in 2000. There were a couple of us, and sort of, it's diminished over the years in terms of everybody going their own separate ways. But we've always had a base of automotive products. Started playing fresh out of varsity with all kinds of automotive products, and then eventually specialized in automotive diagnostic tools.
Oh, okay.
So one of our biggest customers is a company in the US whom we do a lot of work for in the automotive diagnostic side.
The cars and trucks and things.
Cars, yeah. VW Audi related. So
Okay,
it's VW Audi, Seat, Skoda, Bentley, now Porsche, that kind of stuff. And we've always been motorcycle enthusiasts, so that was on the side.
The passion part.
Totally the passion part, yes. And then eventually in 2005, one of my friends and colleagues, we decided we sort of need another leg to stand on. And then we sort of put our minds together and came up with the fact that we needed more than a requirement for the company, but for ourselves. We both had BMW motorcycles at the time, and we were planning an Africa trip, and we were going, well, what diagnostic tool do we use for the Africa trip? And that's how GS901 was born. We literally went and looked at various brands, various tools. There was no other tool for the enthusiast for a BMW motorcycle, and that's where GS901 came from. And that's the bit of history of the name. We thought nobody other than a GS rider would need a GS911, and hence 911, emergency and so forth. And soon had we released it in 20 January 2007. The mind still works. And we sort of got inundated of, I've got an RT and I've got a, whatever the bikes were at the time. So, there's no reason it shouldn't work. And that's how GS901 came to be. And sort of the other side of our business at this point in time is EasyCan, as you know, which is the accessory manager. And that also came about as a need. We had 4x4s, the whole camping scene, utility vehicles and so forth. And we started making something like this for our trucks, utility vehicles. And, it was about yay size. It could make coffee and launch a rocket to the moon. And, eventually I looked at this thing and I said, guys, fantastic tech that we've done here, but this is not for an end user. And we put it on the shelf.
Right,
and in, timing escapes me, but maybe it must have been about 2013-ish, because I think the first K001 chassis bike that was developed was the K16. I think so. And, that's when the chassis of BMW changed a little bit from the K024 chassis, and things became a little more tech, and it was even more difficult to even find just an ignition wire if you wanted to trigger a relay or something like that. And we went, now is the time to have an accessory manager that fits into that plugs into the CAN bus, and we get all the information from the CAN bus, and we started reversing the data on the CAN bus, and we went, but hang on a minute, somewhere is a shelf, and we took this other product off, and we said, what can we use? And as I said, it was yay big and this thick, and it was intended for a utility vehicle. And, now we've got an EasyCan that's this size, and, does so we literally shrunk it down, made it easier to use, and literally sort of made it fit for purpose for motorcycles. And that sort of, and from there it just grew, the models grew, we are now, once again, sort of almost going full circle. We are about to launch an EasyCan for adventure vehicles. I'm holding the brand back for now, but watch the space.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's going to be, one of these days.
That's really good, because as bikes become more and more technical, the end user sort of has less to do with them. So your product is brilliant for allowing the everyday user to really use the capabilities of their bikes and add on the accessories that they want, and importantly to be able to manage them as well, which is, I think, the main thing that people look to.
And to do it in a safe manner for the bike as well.
Absolutely.
That was the whole intention with the EasyCan, is fitting it to a motorcycle without cutting into any wires, tapping into anything, something like that. And it was sort of a big feature that we pushed initially, but I don't think people realize that. The end user does something and they install it and they, go about, okay, this was easy and that's it. But when you're at a trade show and an OE comes to you and they go, when are you making this for our brand? I mean, what do you mean? They go, we are having a nightmare of customers trying to fit lights and other accessories and literally cutting into harnesses, and then we have an issue and we can't have a cut harness on a bike. Then we have to replace the harness for, you know, pick up £1,000 or something like that. But that's not the big cost. Now you've got to take the old harness out, put the new one back. That's 1.5 days worth of work. You know, so please. So, good point, noted. Thank you. Taken to heart.
Warranties were probably being voided as well when
absolutely.
when they start meddling.
Yeah. I mean, the customers were up to fit the bill when they've cut into the harness. That was no longer the OE's problem.
Yeah. For us on our round the world trip, something that we're really looking forward to is the 911 product from Hex, and that's going to enable us to really test the bike on the road, because there's going to be a lot of times when we're nowhere near a dealership, so we can't plug the bike in if it has a fault. But being able to have that product in the pocket or in the bike, it's not taking up much space, gives us a really more confidence for this trip. And I think that's kind of the idea behind it.
That is exactly what it was designed for. I mean, it now has dealer level functionality, but it was designed as an emergency tool, 911, you know, the emergency number. And the idea being, if you're on a trip, because we ride ourselves, so we've seen it so much, especially in sort of where we ride or used to ride with lots of sand and stuff like that. You'd have issues and you have no idea what's wrong. The bike doesn't start. Typical issues are, you know, you hit a rock and your side stand switch, got snagged. The weirdest ones we've had over the years are, for instance, the kill switch. The kill switch is in the run position, but the bike won't start. And you plug the GS901 in, and you go through the real-time values, and you realize the bike is in kill, and you turning the switch and it's still in kill, and you're going, what the hell? And you tap it a little bit, and I remember you came off now, we just picked the bike up, you dragged the handlebars through the sand and, blow a little into the kill switch and, a couple of love taps and suddenly the kill switch works. Exactly. And you wouldn't know. And where do you start looking?
Exactly.
So that's the whole idea of it gives you the insight into what the bike is thinking, because they are so technical at this point in time. There's, the normal carburetor, air, fuel, spark just, does not hold true anymore. It's still the basics, but it's just so much more technical. So you just want to know what's going on in the bike, and it's the perfect tool for that.
Absolutely, because many people today, the first thing they say is that your bike's too technically advanced for that. But if you've got the tools to read the bike and to communicate with the bike,
it could actually flip it a 180.
Absolutely,
if you've got the right tool, it becomes so much easier to figure out what's wrong, as opposed to looking at a air fuel spark issue. I mean, carburetors are still. I love carburetors. Whoever sort of developed the carburetor is amazing. I mean, if you just look at the whole Venturi effect going in on those, that's a generation lost these days. But where we are now with tools like ours, it just makes life easy, and that's what it was intended for.
Absolutely, and not only that, it's also fun as well, because today on Storm we're having some auxiliary lights fitted on the front, auxiliary brake lights on the back, and with that tool we can actually play around with those settings, can't we?
Not with the GS901 itself, but with the EasyCan you can set those settings. Yeah, so the GS901 obviously for the internal motorcycle OE devices, all the control modules, and then the EasyCan has its own software with which you control the EasyCan and change the settings. But the EasyCan listens to all the data on the motorcycle and makes decisions according to that. So you've got, I think you have got Denali D7 Pros going on. Fantastic lights. Bright as hell. Okay, so if you put those on 100%, you'd blind everybody to death. I mean, that is literally you're in the outback with nobody else around you, and you want to. I typically say you want to look 3 days into the future. That's what they were made for. But with the EasyCan now, because the EasyCan listens to the data on the bus, we know whether your bike is on low beam or high beam, and you can now have settings set in the EasyCan. You want this light to be 100% on high beam, but only 10% on low beam. Yeah. So suddenly, as you switch the bike high beam to low beam, these lights are changing. Not only do they change on high beam and low beam, we also take into account day and night. So you can have two settings for day, a night setting and a day setting, and you can have for low beam, and you can have a day and a night setting for high beam. When you hit the horn, they can strobe because we know that the horn was hit. It's a message that comes past on the bus. Sounds like a silly feature, and you know, when we were doing this, and remember this is many years ago, I think the first EasyCan went out in 2017. And I thought, yeah, it's a cool feature, I think, but you know, yeah, it saved my butt twice, and I tell you that's twice is what you only need once to go. That's it, because you hit the horn, somebody's starting to creep out, and they're pulling out, and you hit the horn, and their first reaction is, you know, where did I hear that? Now they've got the visual indication, those kind of things. But it's and you literally take the EasyCan, it's connected to the battery, and it's connected to the CAN bus, and then you've got your output. So that's as easy as that, and it does everything else for you. Because it listens to all the messages, so you can set it up any which way you want to, and that's sort of where the configurability comes in, and what makes the EasyCan such a popular device.
That's fantastic. So it's fun. It keeps you on the road, and it improves your safety as well. So.
Keeps you safe. I mean, safety has been our main driver with the product, and we've got a couple of things coming out in the near future as well, sort of accessories for EasyCan, but also new functions on EasyCan. So what you've got these 4 outputs, and you can pick anyone to be anything. You know, you click on one in the software and you say you are a headlight or an auxiliary light, or you are a brake light, or you are an accessory output or something like that. We've got new functions of those coming in that will also increase safety. That's sort of something we've been working on. There are a lot of new, shall I say, accessory products being developed for EasyCan.
Okay. Yeah.
EasyCan has had something from the inception of the Gen 2 EasyCan, which is the EasyBus, which is a digital communication bus on one of the outputs, the white channel. So now if you have the right smart accessories that are EasyBus compatible, you can daisy chain these on. You can have 2 front lights, you can have 2 more lights, you can have smart rear lights, you can have whatever you like. But that's all on this one channel, so that still gives you the other 3 channels free. And there's all kinds of nice and safety features and things like that on those that the new accessories that we're working with a lot of third-party partners to develop those products. So there's
some exciting times ahead then for Hex.
Huge exciting times. So looking forward to this year for sure.
No, that sounds great. Well, I think we're going to go back over to Storm and see how he's getting on, because I think a lot of panels are being stripped off for a really good installation going on.
Yeah,
over there.
you should sort of keep tabs on Tom. He's Captain Tom in my
fast,
opinion.
Isn't it? Yeah.
He works, but that's a very difficult bike to work on. There's a lot of stuff that has to come off. It's probably one of the most difficult ones at this point in time. But I'm glad you mentioned that it's Storm, because I looked at it and I went, Sean 23, ride the world. How does Emily feel about this? But now it kind of makes sense. So well done, guys. Good luck. Look forward to following you and learning all your adventures and living them with you. And I mean, I did an Africa trip, a short one, sort of Cape Town around Lake Victoria and back. Best trip of my life ever, and now there's family and everything else. Not that it's an excuse; it's just a different phase in life. But
absolutely,
a motorcycle trip around the world, it's like, go, please enjoy every minute of it.
Thanks ever so much, Dave, and thanks very much for your support. Really appreciate it.
Likewise, enjoy.
So this is pretty much the last bit I'm going to do. Just taking the fuel tank off, then we can start laying all the harnesses and wiring in. So
you've already taken a lot of parts off, and it's looking.
There's a few bits missing. Right, so pop this off. So you've got one electrical connector. You've got one fuel.
It's fascinating to see it actually like this.
There you go.
Do you think you could do this in the desert?
I don't know. I think I just
there you go.
I'll call Tom.
To call me. Put that down here. Thank you for not filling it up with 30 litres of petrol as well. That's great.
It's a big help.
So yeah, a bit of fuel in there.
Smells great.
That'll be all right.
A little bit of space in there. It's quite compact, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't realise how much needs to be taken off to do the lights.
If you're doing a proper installation.
Do a proper one. You could run it all along the sides.
Yep.
Just wouldn't look right, would it? So I've got to the point now where the bike's completely stripped down. I've removed every single panel. Yeah, every single panel's off the bike now. So now we can just start laying all the harnesses in to get all the lights, fitted to the bike.
So what have you been up to?
So we've installed the first EasyCan, which is just down there. Okay. That's powering the 2 front lights at the front and your heated kit. One for you, one for Sean.
Perfect.
So you're going to be nice and warm on your trip. Now we're going to wire in the second EasyCan, which is going to power all the T3s on the back. So you'll have extra indicators, extra running lights and extra brake lights.
Wow, so that's 3 additional lights.
3 additional lights on the back.
And that's run off?
After the second EasyCan.
Okay.
I just stepped outside of the workshop for a quick update on the progress of the bike. They've got the 2 EasyCans installed, the tank is back on, and Storm is looking like Storm again, which is nice. It's always a bit nerve-wracking seeing the bike in 100 different pieces, but Tom in there is an amazing mechanic. He took everything off really quickly and he's put it all back on just as fast. He knows exactly where everything goes. I'd be looking at an instruction booklet, I think, for that. But the front lights are on. We've got the orange grills on, which means we can use them as an indicator, which is good. Because the lights, the modules are split in that you can use the top ones for the additional lights and the bottom ones for additional lights. And then you can use the central ones, they're linked to the indicators. And they're just fitting the back brakes on as well, the additional brake lights on the back and the additional indicators on the back. But it's really taking shape, and the more I talk to the guys about how you can use these products, the more impressive it is. So once the bike is finished, we're going to get together, sit down and see how we can program it to suit our needs. It's looking good, Wayne?
Well, yeah, no, it's actually all Tom's hard work. Yeah, but we've got some nice kit on here for you. We've got 2 Hex ezCANs, so that gives a lot of versatility when it comes to adding your electronic accessories. One of the main advantages, as you know, with the Hex ezCAN is that you can add all these electronic accessories without cutting into your wiring harness.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so it saves, or at least it avoids the risk to your warranty, your manufacturing warranty. So what Tom has expertly fitted today is a set of D7 Pro.
That's on the front there, I think.
They're actually a very interesting light because they work on multiple circuits. So that you've got your AUX 1, which is running on the front, or at least the 3 LEDs across the horizontal, and then you've got your AUX 2, which is your outside lights. So these can now be configured with a Hex ezCAN to do different things, and you can set them up different intensities for night and day. And you can make them do really cool stuff. So you can integrate them with your indicators as well as your hazards, your horn. So if you hit your horn in an emergency, you can have your lights flash, a strobe.
That's fantastic.
So all of these safety features are built into the product to make your riding experience so much better.
That's right. Is that what these lenses are for? So they get the indicator effect?
That's right, yeah. You can clip these off and you can put on this variety of different lenses. So these are the amber lenses. You also come in a yellow, and they come in a white. And the white is quite interesting as well because they disperse the light much wider.
Oh, okay.
So if you're going into an off-road environment where you're not going to be involved in a lot of traffic, you may not need the feature of having these running as indicators, but you can have a much wider light pattern.
Okay, so you can suit it to your needs.
Exactly, so this is a great thing with the Denali D7 Pros. So we've got the D7 Pros, but we've also got 2 heated clothing outlets, which is brand new. It's actually it hasn't been launched yet, so you guys are the first to get these. So they plug into the Hex ezCAN, and they allow you to integrate your heated grips with your heated clothing. So you've got that feature as well. So as you're increasing the heat on your heated grips, so it'll increase the heat or the power to your heated clothing.
That's great, isn't it? If you're riding, you don't need to faff about stopping and changing it.
Exactly.
That's really clever.
Exactly. And then we've got a switch, which is a prototype switch, which we're looking forward to the rollout of more accessories, which are going to be able to operate with the Easy Switch. And the Easy Switch is really cool because it gives you that functionality that you can switch between different accessories. So you can have them running as your aux light or as your horn. There's a whole lot of variety that we're going to be looking at with its functionality with the different accessories.
So the more accessories that become available.
Exactly, and this is all on the Easy Bus technology, which was launched last year. and is revolutionizing the accessory management for motorcycles. And then lastly, but by all means probably a showstopper, we've got 3 Denali T3s, and this gives you now the capabilities of being able to run with running lights from all 3, as well as brake lights from all 3, and those are all integrated with your standard controls.
Okay, yep.
As well as your indicators, so they'll work with the left and the right indicator as well. So it really does allow you to have a step up in rear safety,
Yep.
Particularly relevant for BMWs that have the integrated taillights.
Right, yep.
Where the indicator as well as the brake lights are all integrated into one, and it makes the visibility between the indicators and the brake lights quite challenging depending on the environment. But this now gives you a significant increase of appearance from the back, which increases your safety as well.
That's really good. In fact, one thing that I was thinking of before is when you actually have the top box on here, if you have like a high up vehicle, like a truck or something, they perhaps couldn't even see those top indicators.
Yeah.
So having them lower down and out again, that's a great feature, isn't it?
It's a really, really popular setup with motorcyclists having the additional rear lights. And this is one of our top products.
So Storm is nearly finished. He's getting his final little checks done, and then we'll be able to show you the finished product. I am so excited about this because it really does feel like all of the prep we've done over the past few months has finally come together into this final moment where we get to really see what our round the world bike will really look like.
So this is the front EasyCan, which is hidden down here. This is powering your heated kit and your front lights.
Okay.
So as you can see here, you've got left light, right light, right light and left light, and then light pair 2, which is the main beam portion of the light.
Okay.
And then your heated kit we've called an accessories. This is so you can control them independently with your keys controllers.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
It won't get interference with the...
Oh, so we can still use them.
Yeah, so
that's
if you don't want
great.
the heated grips on, but you want your clothing on, you can.
Oh, awesome.
So that's how that's going to work.
Because I tend to get colder than Sean, so mine might be on a little bit more often.
So I always set the lights like this. So the daytime running like the yellow part, 10% day, 10% night.
Okay.
More than bright enough to be seen.
Really? That little?
That low. And then when you hit main beam, all the lights will come on.
Wow.
100%.
Okay.
We don't run the main function lights as daytime running. They're just at 0.
Okay.
They'll only come on when you hit main beam.
Right. Okay.
And this one, so I'm going to turn this back on because whilst we're in here, I've had the lights on and off, but with this setting, they'll only come on when the engine runs.
Oh, great.
So it's not taking any strain out of your battery to get the engine cranked.
That's awesome.
They'll flash when you turn signal, so there'll be an indicator.
Okay.
If you want to put the clear lenses on,
Right.
just come into here where it says flash and click off.
Oh, okay.
And that'll
Super easy.
stop them being an indicator then. It's easy as that.
So that's when we're out in the desert, maybe?
Yeah, put the clear ones on. When you hit the horn, the lights will strobe automatically. Cool. They'll strobe with flash to pass, which is 3 presses of the flash button.
Right, okay.
And then all your lights will strobe with 4 or 5 pulses. And then inverse flashing is opposite your indicators.
Oh, wow. So it's going to like...
Yeah. So if you filter in or whatever, it'll really stand out.
Awesome.
3 wide dimming because these are 3 wide lights.
Okay.
It makes them run really nice and low down with control.
Perfect.
I'll do the same for the other lights. Only come on when the engine runs. We won't have them as an indicate off when they indicate because they're just going to be main beam only.
Okay.
They'll do the same. They'll strobe when the horn goes off. They'll strobe when they flash. I never put inverse flashing on with the main beam because it's just so bright.
Ah, you don't need it.
Full beam with 3 in the front are more than enough.
Okay.
3 wide dimming again, and then your accessory will power out after 10 seconds of the ignition off. Okay. So it automatically cut the power and your jackets won't pull any more.
So when we pull up on the side of the road, turn the engine off, we don't have to like unplug the jackets or anything?
No, it'll just turn off after 10 seconds.
Perfect. And we can change this anytime we want throughout the tour if we decide.
Plug into it and think, I don't want those as ambers, I want clear.
Okay.
Clear's on, change the setting.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tom.
That's it. And the rear one, we'll go through that as well if you want.
Oh yeah, on the other side?
Yeah. Right, so this is your second EasyCan that we've fitted to the bike. This one's controlling your rear lights and the easy switch.
Okay.
So if we turn the bike on, he says, now I need to shake the key. Christ. You'll shake it to wake it.
Storm's on.
There we go.
I can see the rear lights
And
as
you've got
well.
your backlights on. So we're using all 4 circuits again. We've got a left turn, a right turn and a brake. And this is the magic white circuit which does all the easy bus settings. So this is the clever one. So we can put on here, this has got a circuit that spurs off from the white circuit. So you don't lose it, you can actually power something else as well as the button. So in this case we're powering your quad lock mount as well as the button, all from one circuit.
Right.
So it's quite
awesome.
useful that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't, just by plugging it in and having a button, you can actually power something else, so you're not losing the functionality of that circuit.
That's cool.
So that's really clever. So if we go out of that again. So that's the same, that's going to be that, we've called that an accessory, because that's your quad lock. So that again, power down after 10 seconds.
Gotcha, yeah.
We've got a left turn, a right turn, a brake. So we've got solid braking, because that's what we have over in the UK. If you wanted California braking, you just click that. And if you want to look at the back of the bike, you can do this.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
So that would mean that the bike is fine for...
If you went to California.
Well, we're going.
Oh, you can change the settings when you get there. If you want it to flash all the time, you can just click flash on braking.
All right.
And then they'll just literally flash the whole time.
That's quite cool, isn't it?
Yeah. But beards are in the UK and Europe tend to just have solid, so we'll just go with solid. So you've got there's a running light. They're only on at 10% because it's kind of the same sort of intensity as the BMW lights.
Right.
But if you don't want them as a running light, we can just turn them off.
Ah,
So they are literally just the brake light.
That's so cool.
So they really stand out that
Yeah,
way.
they do. So is that it at 100% then?
Yeah, they're 100% brake.
That's great.
But if you want to be seen all the time, we'll leave them at 10%. We can also have flash on emergency stop. So when you slam the brakes on, they flash anyway.
Right.
But these will replicate that because the CAN bus system knows that it's doing it.
Okay.
So it just replicates what you're doing.
So we can turn that on.
We can turn that on, like that. And we can also have engine braking. So when you're going down a hill and you just roll off the throttle, even though you might not be braking, as you roll off the throttle, the bike detects that you're slowing down. So these lights will flash.
That's awesome.
Without you doing anything, just rolling off the throttle will do that.
Do you think you want that, Sean?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, stick it on then.
Turn that on. If you find it's doing it all the time, you can go into the extra settings and you can adjust the sensitivity.
Ah, okay, yep.
You can even put like thresholds on. Wow, that's awesome. So there's really a lot of customization to be done within this software.
Yeah. So that's how we'll run that.
Yeah, they look awesome. I'm really happy with them. I quite like the fact that they're round against the square as well, and they fit perfectly on those upper crash bars.
Yeah, but when it's actually on during the daytime and you've just got this DRL strip on, you're going to get a matching DRL strip to the DRL.
That's a good point,
yeah.
Good point, yeah.
Obviously, when full beam's on, doesn't matter what's in front of you, it just lights everything up, everything comes on.
And I'm extra happy about the additional brake lights at the back.
Yeah, no one can say they couldn't see you, can they?
Not at all. And like as I was saying to Wayne as well, when you've got that extra top box on there, if there's a vehicle with a high seat, they might not even be able to see the OEM ones.
That is true, depending on what top box and how much it overhangs. Definitely, yeah.
And the additional indicators as well that are built in. Really happy about that. In fact, the more I think about it and see how you can play around with the settings, the happier I am with it. That was smoothly done. That looks awesome! The strobing when you beep as well, that's brilliant.
That's amazing, isn't it?
The extra attention that draws.
Thank you. Like, really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks very much, Dan. Yes, please.
So if you want to turn them off, they only come on when it's running anyway.
Okay, yep.
Hold that in.
What's that, the indicator button, yep?
And they go off.
Ah, super. The daylight running will go off there.
2 light pairs.
Yep.
Light pair 1, light pair 2. The DRL bar, the amber bar is light pair 1.
Okay.
Let's turn that off, hold the button in. And then fade down.
Okay, yep.
Turn light pair 2 off. Same button, three times. 1, 2, 3. Now those lights don't do anything.
Right,
Off.
yep.
Turn it back on. 1, 2, 3. Now I've got main beam for the main beam portion.
So the bike is ready to go and it's coming towards, it's quite late in the day now, so we're going to make our way back home to North Wales, but we have had a great time at a bike thing and I can totally recommend this place. If you need any modifications doing to your bike, anything you're not too sure about, these guys have got it covered. So yeah, big thank you to A Bike Thing for sorting out a storm today and also for Hex for making sure everything's working perfectly now. I can't wait to plug in the laptop to Storm and start playing with the settings and changing things to suit us as we go along on this journey. But we're going to head and hit the road now and we're going to head back to North Wales.